like you guys know, we're here just to talk about anything and everything to do with the programs, except for the content that the faculty already told you about. I'm going to talk to you about awards, how to apply, what that looks like. What year is everyone? First year?
First year.
Is everyone first year? Wow, cool. So I don't have to talk to you about CARTA so much. You kind of already know what's going on, but I'll kind of walk you through that process because you guys had a different process in the fact that I made applications for you and said, hey, go log in. Where this time you'll have to go and do that yourself. So, but before we begin, I thought we could really get our heads into thinking internationally by trying to guess some languages. Because you may be going to a place where you don't speak the language. Even Ireland, you might run into something that's in Gaelic. If you can't read Gaelic, you might be in trouble, right? So, if you guys want to give a go at any of these?
I know the last one's Hebrew.
Let me do this one. Is it? Are you sure? Well, what's the first one? I get that one's like the warm-up exercise. So get us talking out loud. What's that one? Okay. Any guess on the second one? I'll tell you Ethiopia. What is the language spoken? No? Amharic. You'll find many Amharic speakers around here. Actually, Amin, who works in our office, is an Amharic speaker. So if you come into my office and Amin is there, you can say, I have seen letters in Amharic. And she'll say, okay. Okay, any guess on the next one? From Spain. It's from Spain.
It's not Canada.
You got it. Yeah. It is the language of Catalan, which is a minority language spoken in Spain. And they like to protest a lot, and they want to really have the Catalan language recognized as its own unique language and support it, much like in Ireland with discussions around the Gaelic language. All right, next one. We might have a little idea.
Is it Greek?
It's Greek, yeah. This is modern Greek. And that is, just to let you know, that the Amharic one up there is the feminine version. I don't know how to say it, though. So. Okay, this next one is just really obscure and really funny. It makes me laugh. No, but it's from that region, but it's very small. Tiny.
I know it, I know this little
There's two little ones.
Is it the one that starts with L?
Luxembourg?
Yes, it's Luxembourgish, which is also fun to say. So, it's Luxembourgish. And last one? Very close. Related to Hebrew. It's spoken by many, by the Jewish community in Eastern Europe. It comes from Yiddish. Yep. Looks like Hebrew. Sounds like German-ish things. So yeah, this would just to get our minds thinking about the big globe we live on and some of the languages. I'm Julie. I am the Faculty-Led Programs Coordinator. My background is in German. I lived in Germany. I lived in Austria. I have a bachelor's of German. I love speaking German. I speak German all day. Love it so much. And then I did my master's in applied linguistics. So I love languages. So you see, I like to add a little bit of that in. So I'm the Faculty-Led Programs Coordinator. I'm the person that you guys got a lot of emails from during Journeys. So I do all of that. But I also coordinate all of the other faculty-led programs. So your entire application process, all that stuff will come across my desk, and I'll be there to help you guys in any way, shape, or form I can, except for carrying your suitcases. So do not expect me to do that. So lay of the land, just what I'm going to be covering today. Can you guys see that? Am I standing in your way? No. You sure? I can be really small. Current programs, we've kind of talked about. I think you guys probably have a good idea. Where to find information about these programs. Everything's in CARTA as of yesterday. It's in there, and I'll show you guys where to find it and what's all there. We'll talk about how to apply for a program. Like I said, you guys have kind of interacted with CARTA in one way, but we'll just kind of look at it, like how to get to the application and making sure that you're aware of some of the differences. We'll talk about deadlines. We will talk about awards. The expectations that we have of you as faculty-led program students, which are different. well, they are elevated from what we would expect of a first-year student traveling on journeys. And then the expectations that we have of ourselves in supporting you. And last but not least, I want to hear you talking instead of myself, because on this recording, I will have to listen to myself, and I hate it. So quickly, the magical programs for 2018, and then it gets into the next slide, and it's really witty, so these are the 4 programs that we currently have for 2018. Marine biology, like as it shows there, the dates, it's all contained during the summer, like I said earlier. That program has no on-campus component. China, unlike Germany and Ireland, only meets twice during the semester. Only twice. It's just 2 meetings, and then you're traveling together during the summer. Contemporary Germany and Literary Ireland actually follow the standard pattern for our faculty-led programs, which is an on-campus semester-long course, where you're diving into topics related to those countries and then the topics around their concentration. For example, in Germany, you're really getting a wide spectrum over German culture, over the German history. I mean, it is like a flyby glimpse at all of Germany. And then when you're traveling, you're getting to experience quite a lot of different parts. I had the opportunity of going on last year's program, or the year before, and it's really a cool experience. Ireland, has to do with the literature of Ireland. Were any of you in either Dr. Kamo's or Dr. Cousins' course? Were you both in Dr. Cousins' course? And now you feel inspired to continue traveling with her? And the same about were you in Dr. Cromwell's class? Oh, you were in Ireland? Cool. And where to find them? Haha, get it? Magical programs. Where to find them? I tried. I really thought hard about that one. So, did you get it?
No.
Are you getting it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, good.
Sorry.
So where to find them? Like I said, we use Carta to help us get our jobs done. Hey, are you guys here to learn about faculty-led programs?
Yes.
Cool, come on in. Have a seat and we'll pass around the sign-up sheet. Just FYI, this is being recorded, not with the camera, which is looking at you right now, but just video recording, or sound recording. So, I was just saying, we just looked at the different programs, the 4 different ones we have. And what I'm saying right now is, where do you find them? We use Carta to help us manage a lot of work and a lot of applications. So I'm super reliant on everything that goes in there, and that's like the only way I have to keep up with what you guys are doing. If you guys want to take it with you, you can go ahead and have a seat if it's easier. So in Carta, as you guys already know, you already have experience with it, you'll be able to learn about the programs. That's where all of the content about the programs lives. And we'll look at examples of that. That's where you can apply for a program. We'll look at that. Once you're accepted, that's where you'll be completing documents, signature documents. That's how you'll actually type in the application. If you're a T-Rex and you type like this. And then, like I said, we are super, super reliant on you guys getting stuff done in the system. I know it's not always the easiest to use, and sometimes you're like, why is it so unuser-friendly? I get it. I know every inch and corner of that software. But it's really important that you guys pay attention to it. It's important to pay attention to those emails, because I don't really have any other way of getting a hold of you except for calling you on your phone, which I will do. It's not unheard of. So let's look really quickly at where those programs are. This is our practice round. If you have a phone with you, which I assume many people do, or if you have a laptop with you, go ahead and crack that out and we can be looking at this together. You can even start your application while we're here and kind of walk through it, and I can answer questions about it. So go to carta.agnescott.edu if you want to. In the meanwhile, you can look at these slidey pictures of people and buildings and stuff. What you're going to be looking for is this little, on the navigation panel, Explore Programs. You're going to go to Search Faculty-Led Programs. And now, where there used to be no list, there will be these 4 programs. So, like I said, this is where all of the content about these programs will live. The cost, the itinerary, sort of policy, that sort of stuff, like the generic stuff. Of course, you have to sign and read more detailed information once you're actually in the application. But let's have a tinker. I'm going to use Contemporary Germany actually as my example here. I'm going to start an application in it and show you how that's done. So I'm going to open that one. What programs are you guys here for? Which one are you interested in? Ireland? All three Ireland? Cool. So here it is. It's got some little quick information up here, the dates, and then these really important things when the application is due and when the decision date is due. If you went to an info session with a faculty member and they may have given you an application deadline stuff, we have had to tinker those just a little bit. So if you've already seen that information and it had it later in the, I think it was actually in October instead of at the end of September, just know that those had to change a little bit to accommodate our office being able to do their job. So just pay attention to those. The start and the end date of the program is there. Then there's this little fact sheet. It'll tell you the number of credits. They are all of varying credit levels, between 2 and 4 credits in there. So just make sure you pay attention to that. And then also, you know, as you're working with your advisor, make sure you're aware of that. If you want to sort of pad in this class, know that, you know, you're going to be in the application period. Hey there. But just make sure you're aware of the number of credits for this class so that you can plan appropriately with your advisor. So you'll see these little tabs here. They're going to kind of navigate you through the different content. But on this first page, you're going to get the course description and, very importantly, those requisite courses. Just make sure you give that stuff a read over. You'll find the travel itineraries. You'll see the one for marine biology if you do decide to apply for that. It's very, very detailed just because he's been doing that one for a very long time. Very importantly is the travel-related considerations. That is from the faculty member letting you know what's really important about this program for you to be thinking about. Just know on all of these you're going to be walking a lot. Who was surprised by how much walking they did on journeys? Anyone? No? Okay, good. Some people come back like, oh my god, I walked more than I've ever walked. And it's like kind of shocking. Are you guys first year, sophomore? Okay. And then it talks about accommodation. With the exception of marine biology, all of these are hotel accommodation. Everyone is, you'll share a room with one other person. Of course, you will have your own bed. But that's, with marine biology, it's a little different because you're kind of in like a dormitory style thing. Deadlines is very important and near and dear to my heart because that's what 90% of my job is following up on deadlines. So when's the application deadline for these? September 27th. Yay! September 27th. I wanted to make sure that you guys could get your applications in and we could get a response to you prior to fall break so that you can go home, look at those finances with whomever it is that you want to talk about that to, be that a guardian, be that your dog, whoever you feel inspired to talk to about it. As you'll see right here, the application deadline and the award application deadline are at the same time because the award application is actually inside your regular application. If you don't want to fill it out, you don't have to. It's not a requirement. But just know that they're due at the same time and all together is one part of the package. So when you submit your application, we review both. If you did, you know, if you filled in anything on the award application, we're going to be looking at that simultaneously. And when we say you've been accepted, we'll also say, and you got X amount of award money from our office. So we'll put those together. I think that makes it a little bit smoother process for you guys so that you have all of it one easy package and you can make your decisions based on that. Decision date is then the 11th of October. Like I said, that's right before you go off for fall break, so you can chat with anyone. Then when you come back from fall break, that following week, you're going to have to let us know if you accept or decline your position. That part's really important because that is fiscally binding. When you say, yes, I accept my position, I'm going to tell the Office of Accounting to charge you for the program. So just make sure that when you hit commit, you really mean it because you can't go back on that. That is fiscally binding, and I have to be really, 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 really clear about that. After that, the 15th of November, a mandatory accepted students meeting. All of us will get back together again. It'll be so much fun, but I'll have snacks instead of this microphone. What we'll talk about there is sort of next steps, make sure everyone kind of understands what's going on, if you have any more questions after you've been accepted, and then just sort of turning our heads to the next semester. Final payment, or first payment and final payment, those are super, super key. If you don't get your first payment in, we will have to withdraw you from the class. The same goes for the final payment. And know that at certain points, we start making deposits on your behalf. That's why when you commit to it, it's fiscally binding, because we start making deposits on your behalf. That's for airplane tickets, that's for your accommodation, or for our program providers on the ground. So once we give them money, we can't always get it back, which means you can't get it back either. So I just want you guys to really make sure you're thinking about that. I know with Journeys, you aren't really having to delve into any of that stuff. So it's kind of a little different situation. Super important. Who has a passport? Okay. Just make sure that you get one. If you don't have one right now, I have so many passport applications, and I've helped many, many people fill them out. And also, word to the wise, just in case you lose yours, it expires or anything, the passport agency will be back here for a fair for the move-in for the new first years. So you guys are more than welcome to come to that to apply for that new passport. Importantly here are those application requirements. You'll see it once you've actually logged in. And then our policies. Please read through these. I think they're really important for us to all be clear on, especially in terms of you guys being aware that you have to do everything for your class and everything for our office too. We really have to have both wheels spinning simultaneously. Program fees. And okay, for those of you going on Germany, this might be the first time you've seen program fees, but they are on there, all 4 programs, and it outlines what's included and what is not included in that program fee. So just make sure that you're taking that into account when you're looking at that. For example, for Germany, flights are not included. It is the expectation that you will get your own flight and be there to meet the group at the start of the program. So you'll see that we're kind of ratcheting up your responsibility with these programs. We're, again, with Journeys, you guys like showed up at the airport and they were like, we got your plane ticket, let's go. Those days are done. I'm sorry. And think about when you're an independent study abroad student and you have to get yourself there, you have to find your accommodation. It's going to be really crazy. But I think this is a really good start toward that. The inclusions and the exclusions will be different for all programs. Ireland, for example, flights are built in. And there's just a little variance on each of them. But if you ever have any questions about these details, just shoot me an email or come by during my office hours. Last but not least, probably what all of you are actually here to ask me about, are awards. The maximum amount awarded is $3,000, and we will look at that in a little more detail in just a minute. So I'm going to pop back over here, presentation going. Like I said, applying for a program, just review all of those elements, the requirements, this is super slow. Once you've kind of reviewed everything, you're going to click the Apply Now. It's pretty straightforward. And then once that opens up, once your page opens up with all of the applications, review everything that's in there. There are now due dates to let you know. It's a new feature in there, which is really helpful, because before it's like, what? Where is this stuff? So just be aware of that stuff too. And make sure, again, you guys have a lot of experience with it, but make sure that you always click submit instead of save, because lots of people are like, I submitted that, and I'm like, send me your stuff, and then they realize like, oh, I accidentally just hit save. So just make sure you're aware of that. Oh wait, we're going back to example time. Okay, so what we're having an example about now is me applying for Contemporary Germany. I'm really motivated. I love going to Germany. It's my favorite. I also like Italy and China, and okay. So I'm going to apply now. Let's see if this works for me. Asking if I actually want to do this. I'm feeling okay about it, so I'm going to move forward. It's going to ask you to log in. All of you already have an ID, so that's fine. It's going to pop up. It's going to ask you which term. There's only one, so do that. And then, drum roll, it's my application. Don't be intimidated by all the extra buttons up at the top. That is not applicable to you. This is going to look so much like what you guys have already seen, but just read through everything. There's a $50 non-refundable deposit. That's non-refundable in that if you're not accepted, we don't give it back to you, or if you decide not to go. But if you are accepted and you decide to go, that goes towards your program fee. We just kind of build that in. That really helps to make sure people are just frivolously like making applications, which is a waste of everybody's time, your time, our time, and the faculty member who reviews all this. There are instructions on how to pay for those. You can do it electronically. You can do it with cash or check, and you take all of that stuff to the Office of Accounting. If you bring me cash, I'm just saying, I like to travel. I don't know what happened. Do you have a receipt? I don't know. Just kidding. But always take that stuff to the Office of Accounting. The electronic payments, you can do that just like you make any other payments at the school. There is a specific portal, which is on here. Anytime you have to make a payment, it will give you this portal. So you can just pop in there and do that. But just make sure you get that done. We have to check that off manually in the system. So if once you make the payment, that box didn't check off, it's because like I have to literally like go in there and say that you did it. So don't be freaked out if that doesn't happen. There's some signature documents for you to read over. Those deadlines and requirements are in there. There's an agreement and release, that kind of stuff. But here are the questionnaires, and under that is the application for the program, and then also the award application. So just make sure you fill out both of those. For the award application, if you don't want to, you can click it, and then it's going to ask you, do you actually want to apply for this? You say yes or no, and it'll close it out if you don't want to apply for it. And last but not least is a recommendation. Recommendations can be submitted electronically through the system. So all you have to do is click request electronic recommendation, type in the faculty member's name, and it'll send you an email. It's always, always nice to ask your recommender for permission first. We really recommend you doing that. That establishes further rapport with that person, but it also reminds them to check their email. Faculty are very, very busy humans, and sometimes they just need a little bit of reminder to get some of that stuff done. So just check through that. And then at the bottom, you'll see also the general itinerary for the program. So that was example time on that. Where are we going? So deadlines, what we talked about, kind of looking over those again. The deadlines are non-negotiable. They are what they are because I have to give your information to someone else to make stuff happen. If I don't have your emergency contact information, I can't submit it. If I don't have your passport information, I can't get you a plane ticket. That's literally why we have to do this. It's not for fun. I don't like deadlines. I don't like submitting things either. But they are in place for a reason. Know that. It's not just because I'm sadistic. Awards. So we allocate awards based on both merit and need. We base need on what is given to us from financial aid. They give us a number that represents your financial aid. So it's not us making up anything. It is a very, very precise equation that I've been working on, and it really helps to ensure that people who have need and who also work hard are really rewarded for their hard work, but also it helps to take into account differences in people's financial ability to pay for these programs. So that's really, really important to our office. I cannot express that enough. I have been in your shoes. I had 3 jobs in college. If I wanted to go to Germany, I was paying for it myself. So I've been there, and I really know what that feels like. So it's really, really, really important to me that we get you guys the maximum amount of money that we can to ensure that you're able to participate on these really, really awesome programs. Our funding, just so that you know where it comes from, some of it is from our operating budget. So I have some money that's just for awards from our office. Some come from donors. So there may be a donor who went on a global awareness, which these programs used to be called, in 1991 and really loves it and has donated money to the college for that purpose. And then the other thing, which two of the programs, Germany and Ireland, they fall under, the faculty members have special grant money, which comes into play. So for those programs, they can, they may go over the $3,000 limit just because they have other funding to give, but it's not guaranteed. If 900 people apply to Contemporary Germany, they're going to try to bring as many people as possible, which does minimize how much award money there is. So just be aware of that. Like I said earlier, and what we looked at, the awards application is part of the general application process. It's not separate. When you go on to do independent study abroad, note that those are different. Those are disparate applications. Yeah, we give you everything we can up front. We're not like holding it back to make you come to my office and all that. No, once we give you what we have, we've really done everything we possibly can. I have a lot of students who try to come afterwards and say like, oh, I need more money, and I'm like, I really want to give it to you, but I have like zero money in my account. So please know, really, 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 we try to do everything we can to make sure it's possible for you guys to travel. I'm just going to pop this open really quickly. This is, you can find this on Carta, and I've now laboriously updated our website, which is way out of date. But you can find this exact same document in both of those places. And then also, when you're on the program page, when you click awards, it'll be there too, it'll link to it. It explains how you apply, kind of talking about what I was just talking about, like where does the money come from, and how much you should plan to save. This is going to give you, I know this is probably hard for you to see back there, but it's going to give you kind of a ballpark figure based on your need and your merit, and where that might. Let's go to Agnes. So there's that. Okay, so expectations. I mean, this stuff's pretty straightforward. We want you to treat this course as you would any other course that you have. It's not that this one's just like a flippant, fun course, because then you get to go somewhere in the summer. It is a rigorous academic course, and you are rigorous academic students, and we expect you to treat it as you would. You are responsible for all the academic content that you would in any other course as outlined by your faculty member in the syllabus for the course. We also anticipate and expect that you will respect and abide by the stated deadlines. I don't want to have to chase you down. It's not fun for me. It's a big, big waste of my time for me to have to come and email you like, hey, the 9th time I emailed you, can you please submit this thing? It's like 2 months due, past due. You guys will be sophomores, and with that comes a level of expectation that you are able to manage your own deadlines and do all of that. So I don't want to have to come and do that. So are we just all in agreement now that you're going to just look at the deadlines and write it in your calendar? Deal? Okay. I don't have to email you. Yeah, and your faculty members too. Because if you don't get your stuff done, then I email your faculty members. And that wastes my time, it wastes their time, it wastes your time. And faculty members are way grumpier than me sometimes. Oh, I'm going to have to delete that section out of the recording. But I also expect that you ask questions. Oh, my favorite part's the next part. As the saying goes, a closed mouth don't get fed. So I can't answer your questions and help you if you don't come by my office or if you don't email me. I hear so many complaints like, this doesn't happen, where it does happen, but no one came and asked about it. So we try to provide as much information as we possibly can. We use Carta to do that. We use information sessions like this, but you are independent human beings with agency over your own lives. So if you want to know about something, come and ask. Our door's always open. I got lots of snacks and tea. So come on by and please, please, please always ask questions. That goes for this, but everything else in your life, and this is a really good place to start. Start practicing that. And remember, during travel, you're part of a course. So your behavior should be exactly like it would be as if you are in the classroom. So, you know, when you might be in Europe and, you know, this is a little different experience than with Journeys, where I think it was a very, very short amount of time. You had less free time. You were also bound to be with one other Agnes Scott student all the time. This is a little different. You have more freedom. You have more agency, but with that comes comes great responsibility. I just made that up myself. No one said that before, ever. So just remember with that, you do need to maintain the decorum of someone who is in a classroom. Your behavior should reflect that, and your faculty member will hold you to it. And they have the right and the authority to send you home at your expense. So please know, as of course all of you know, you're fine, no biggie, but just remember that in the back of your mind. That being said, I also have expectations of us and of myself, and I want to always make those clear. We want to always provide access to information related to your travel, if that's plane tickets or like flight information, if that is itinerary information. This is a little different in that often the faculty members are the portal for a lot of information, but I always try to keep that stuff in Carta and keep you guys updated just in case the faculty member handed it out in class but you lost it or whatever it is. I always try to keep that repository in Carta so you can access that information. I always want to answer your questions in a timely manner. If you send me an email, I'm going to try to get back to it as soon as possible. And the many, many emails I get, you guys are always my priority to answer. But know that especially in the spring, my life flips upside down, and I can barely call my mother. So, or my poor fiance, I don't even know who he is. Who is he? I don't know. Have available office hours. On my signature of my email are my office hours. At any time you're like, what is your office hour? You can always go back to an email from me. That's on emails out of Carta, emails that I send from Gmail. I have those Monday and Friday from 10 to 11:30. So anytime. Those are the walk-in hours. And then on Thursdays, if you want to set an appointment, you can do that through Compass, I think. If Compass is broken, send me an email and let me know, and I'll try to get it fixed. My other expectation of myself is to promote self-sufficiency and creative problem solving as part of the process of study abroad for you. I mean, I'm trying to do that for myself still. It's an ongoing process, but I really want to encourage you to be independent women going out into the world. And the skill set that you learn while studying abroad is so important to that. Like, the person I learned to be while I was abroad has really shaped the person I am now, for the good and the bad. But it's part of the process, and I want to encourage you and support you in doing that, but I will hold your feet to the fire. And if you're not behaving in the way that is applicable to that by not meeting deadlines or whatever, I don't know what else would be other than that, I will hold your feet to the fire, and I will not let you escape easily from that, and I'm always up for discussion with those things. So Q&A time. We can always go back and look at stuff in Carta if you have questions, and we can look at that award stuff too. So the floor is yours.
For the Germany trip, you recommendation that Harry Gromwell is the professor, and then he's married to Brian Drescher. So how does that work?
We don't like the faculty member who's leading the program to do it, but Frau Drescher is a great person to do it. But it can be it can be your summit advisor. It can be anyone else. Know that those people are available. I don't have it as faculty recommendation because it doesn't necessarily need to be a faculty member. So it could be anyone else. Hopefully someone on campus. That's usually a good way to do it. But they're very professional, and I will also not let them talk about it. So do not talk about these recommendations in front of each other. We'll be really strict with them. That's a good question.
Do you have approximate numbers about how many people have expressed interest?
Around each, I don't know about China, but for Germany and Ireland, it's in the 20 or 25 range for each of them right now. So it's a good number. But those programs can also hold a few more people. But I always encourage you to apply. Apply. I know there's that $50 non-refundable application fee, but I really want you to submit your interest because I know sometimes the sticker shock, you see those numbers and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much. But submit the award application and see what happens, and then make your decision. Like, get all the stuff in and then look at the awards and go from there. I don't want you guys to get disheartened before you even see how much award money you have and what you kind of have to do in between there. Those are good questions. We'll switch back to you. Go for it.
So, is it possible we can apply for 2 programs just in case like one of them is not popular? Because I know the China trip, I haven't really seen anybody who expressed interest. So, is it possible if we could apply to 2, and maybe the $50 deposit for one of them could go towards the other one or something like that?
Yeah, you can always apply to 2 programs. We've only, there used to be a $250 application fee. It was refundable though, but it was, I thought that was a little challenging. So we've only had 1 year of having the $50. We've only had one other person apply for 2 programs, and that person just paid one $50 fee. So that, I think that is what we'll go with, and apply to both and submit one $50.
And how do we advertise the
I like chocolate, fine wines.
flowers?
Yeah, I'm into flowers. Yeah, more like potted plants. No. Submit a good application. Like, write them well. Like, I have seen people, bad grammar, no capital letters. We look at that stuff. Like, it gets read for your award applications and all of that. And a committee of people reads it and gives you a score. And that's part of that, part of the merit award in the scholarship little criteria thing that I've got set up. It's a really fun Google sheet if you ever want to see it. Come and buy. But that's the most important thing. Like, just take your time doing it. Like, don't rush through it. Don't do it the day before, so that it's a good application. Yeah.
So since the journey trip, the flight's not included, will your office like help us book flights, or is that all on our own?
I can give you some general pointers,
Okay.
but no, we're not a travel agency.
I was just wondering.
Yeah. We have some vendors that we work with, like Student Universe. I don't know if you've ever heard of. There's like Student Universe and some air consolidators who work only with students and can get negotiated rates that are usually a little bit cheaper. So we've got lots of opportunities like that. But yes, of course, we will always provide guidance on what to do. But we're not sitting down on Delta.com together. Good question. I see the twinkle of questions. Go.
So if there's no course for the China trip, how will the credit work? Because I thought it was 2 credits.
Yeah, it's 2 credits. Think about it as a combination of on campus and during travel. During travel accrues time in terms of contact hours between the student faculty member, where you're learning and all that sort of stuff. So that gets accrued together. Ireland, for example, is 4 credits because you have an on-campus component and then the travel during the program. So I think it meets a little bit more than Germany, for example. I think Germany meets once a week, where Ireland, I think, meets twice a week. Stuff like that. There's like rubrics and stuff, and we let the faculty sit in their offices and they have a good time filling this also. Other questions?
Okay, so this is gonna be my so what if we pay all the money when we get the application and stuff? Does that secure us a spot in like the course, for example? Like what if we don't get the course?
Oh, yeah. So once you open the application, you'll see a little reading item called registering for this course. But just in case you forget what I'm about to say, it'll be there. You can only register for these courses if you're an accepted student, because you have to bring me an add drop form. The only caveat would be the prerequisite course for Ireland. So that might be prudent. Again, talk with your academic advisor, with your summit advisor or academic advisor, and kind of walk them through that. They'll know what's going on. It would be important to go ahead and get in that prereq course just so that you have it, and then have your application. On that registering for this course thing, oh, I'm sorry, that's actually in the post-decision phase. Anyways, make sure that you have a spare course, that you have a replacement course just in case you decide not to go. If for some reason you don't get accepted, I'll tell you, the not getting accepted thing, there's a pretty low chance of that happening. Faculty members really want everyone to go who's interested and excited about it. So please go with a very, very optimistic attitude into the application. But you might change your mind, something else might come up, you might get an internship for next summer, which has definitely happened for people. So just have a backup course just in case. Are we good? Cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I look forward to you guys applying. I hope to see a bunch of little emails of you guys submitting those applications today. But like I said, come on by my office and we can I can answer any other questions, more specific questions if you have them. Thanks much.